The cold Nevada desert stretched endlessly around the gleaming research facility, its metallic walls reflecting the harsh sunlight. Inside, Dr. Jun Park stood motionless, staring at the quantum drive prototype that represented humanity's most ambitious technological leap. Computers hummed softly, screens flickering with complex mathematical equations and quantum mechanics simulations. Years of research, countless sleepless nights, and unprecedented funding had led to this singular moment. The drive looked deceptively simple, a compact metallic cylinder about the size of a large refrigerator, with intricate circuitry and cooling systems that suggested something extraordinary was brewing inside. Jun remembered the skepticism he faced from his colleagues. When he first proposed the concept of compressing space-time using quantum entanglement principles, most scientists had laughed. Impossible, they'd said. Pure science fiction. But Jun knew something they didn't, that human imagination often exceeded current technological limitations. His team was small but exceptional. Hyun Kim, a brilliant quantum mechanics specialist, had developed the initial theoretical framework. Yun Choi, the propulsion engineer, had transformed those theories into tangible design schematics, and Sung Lee, their mission director, had secured the massive government and private funding needed to push the boundaries of human knowledge. The prototype represented more than just a technological achievement. It was a statement of human potential, a middle finger to the universe's seemingly immutable laws of physics. Traditional faster-than-light travel theories had always suggested massive energy requirements that made interstellar travel impractical. But this drive was different. By manipulating quantum fields and creating micro-wormholes, the drive could theoretically compress space around a vessel, allowing it to travel vast distances in impossibly short timeframes. Early calculations suggested they could traverse thousands of light-years in hours, not decades or centuries. Jun walked around the prototype, his fingers occasionally brushing against its smooth surface. Every component had been meticulously designed and tested. Thousands of simulations had been run, each more complex than the last. They had failed hundreds of times before getting close to a workable solution. The breakthrough had come unexpectedly. During a late-night debugging session, Hyun had noticed an anomalous quantum resonance pattern that didn't fit existing mathematical models. Most scientists would have dismissed it as an error, but Jun and his team saw it differently. They saw potential. Weeks of intensive research followed. They'd rebuilt sections of the drive, recalibrated sensors, and developed entirely new computational models to understand the quantum anomaly. What they discovered was revolutionary, a method to create controlled quantum entanglement that could effectively fold spacetime. The implications were staggering. If their calculations were correct, this drive would not just improve space travel, it would fundamentally transform humanity's understanding of interstellar exploration. No longer would distance be an insurmountable barrier. Entire star systems could become accessible within a human lifetime. Outside the facility, the world continued its routine. Most people had no idea that inside this unassuming building, a small team of scientists was about to change everything humans knew about space travel. Political boundaries, economic structures, and humanity's perception of its place in the universe would be forever altered. Jun checked the final calibration settings. Tomorrow, they would run the first comprehensive test of the quantum fold drive. His hands were steady, but his heart raced with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Years of work had led to this moment. The desert wind whistled outside, carrying with it the promise of a new era. Humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest technological achievement, and Dr. Jun Park was about to take the first step into a future where the stars were no longer distant, unreachable points of light, but potential destinations waiting to be explored. The Galactic Council chambers stood silent, a vast circular room filled with representatives from hundreds of star systems. Holographic displays flickered around them, casting alien shadows on polished metallic walls. Commander Sung Lee walked forward, his dark blue uniform crisp and pressed, carrying with him a small data crystal that contained humanity's most significant technological breakthrough. Alien delegates watched with a mixture of curiosity and mild amusement. The Vortex delegation, tall Krista, line beings with translucent bodies, whispered among themselves. The Luminarian representatives, energy-based life forms that resembled swirling clouds of luminescent particles, seemed particularly disinterested. Sung understood their skepticism. Humans were relatively new to the galactic community, considered a young and somewhat primitive species. Previous human technological proposals had been dismissed or ridiculed. But today would be different. Distinguished council members, Sung began, his voice steady and confident. Humanity presents the quantum fold drive, a revolutionary faster-than-light propulsion system that will transform interstellar travel. A low murmur spread through the chamber. The Krell representative, a massive reptilian creature with scales that changed color with emotional states, shifted uncomfortably in its gravitic stabilization seat. Its scales flickered from deep blue to a suspicious greenish-gray. Sung activated the holographic projection. Intricate schematics of the drive materialized, showing complex quantum entanglement patterns and space-time compression algorithms. Each diagram represented years of research, countless failed experiments, and unprecedented human determination. The chief Luminarian scientist, a swirling mass of electric blue and silver energies, spoke first. Your mathematical models suggest impossible energy transformations. Explain. Sung had anticipated this question. Dr. Hyun Kim, standing behind him, stepped forward. Her explanation was technical yet clear, breaking down complex quantum mechanics into digestible concepts. She described how human researchers had discovered unique quantum resonance patterns that could effectively fold spacetime. The alien scientists listened, their initial amusement gradually transforming into genuine interest. The drive's theoretical framework challenged everything they knew about faster-than-light travel. Most galactic civilizations relied on massive wormhole generators or complex hyperspace jump technologies that required enormous energy expenditures. Humanity's approach was different. Instead of fighting against spacetime, their drive would work harmoniously with quantum mechanics, creating micro-wormholes that could compress spatial distances. Early calculations suggested they could traverse thousands of light years in mere hours. Impossible, muttered the Krell representative, its scales now turning a deep, frustrated red. No species has achieved such efficient spacetime manipulation. Sung smiled. He had prepared for this exact response. We are prepared to provide full technical documentation and invite independent verification from any council member. The challenge hung in the air. Independent verification meant alien scientists could thoroughly examine their research, test their models, and confirm the drive's capabilities. It was a bold move that demonstrated humanity's confidence. Hours of presentations followed. Technical details were discussed, complex mathematical models were analyzed, and initial skepticism slowly gave way to grudging respect. The human team remained composed, answering every question with precision and clarity. As the presentation concluded, something remarkable happened. The alien delegates who had entered the chamber expecting to dismiss another human fantasy now looked genuinely intrigued. The quantum fold drive was not just another proposal, it was a potential game-changer in interstellar travel technology. The Galactic Council would need time to review the data, but everyone in that chamber understood that something significant had just occurred. Humanity had just demonstrated that they were not just another young, inexperienced species. They were innovative, bold, and capable of challenging established technological paradigms. Commander Sung Lee looked around the chamber, sensing the shift in atmosphere. This was more than a technological presentation. This was humanity's declaration to the galaxy. We are here, we are capable, and we are ready to explore. The launch platform gleamed under bright artificial lights, reflecting the anticipation of hundreds of scientists and alien observers. Dr. Yun Choi sat inside the modified scout ship called Horizon 1, her hands steady on the control systems. Around her, advanced monitoring equipment tracked every possible metric of the upcoming test. Outside the ship, representatives from multiple star systems watched through protective energy shields. Massive holographic displays surrounded the launch area, ready to capture every moment of the potentially historic demonstration. The ship looked surprisingly small, a sleek silver vessel that seemed too compact to challenge the fundamental laws of space travel. Eon went through her final checklist with mechanical precision. Years of training, months of specialized preparation, and countless simulations had led to this moment. Her breathing remained calm, almost mechanical. Behind her protective helmet, her eyes reflected a mix of professional focus and barely contained excitement. Communication systems crackled to life. Horizon 1, you are cleared for quantum fold initiation, came the calm voice of mission control. The alien observers leaned forward, their various biological and artificial sensory systems fully engaged. The quantum fold drive hummed to life. Unlike traditional propulsion systems that generated massive energy signatures, this drive operated with an almost silent elegance. Instruments began recording quantum fluctuations that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around the small vessel. Initial readings showed something unprecedented. Space itself appeared to ripple and compress around Horizon 1, creating a localized quantum tunnel that defied conventional understanding of physics. The ship wasn't moving through space so much as causing space to move around it. On the holographic displays, distance markers began changing at impossible speeds. What would typically require decades of traditional travel was being traversed in minutes. The alien scientists began rechecking their instruments, certain there must be some error in the readings. 12,000 light-years disappeared in less than 6 hours. When Horizon 1 completed its journey and transmitted its return coordinates, a profound silence fell across the observation deck. The implications were staggering. Humanity had just demonstrated a method of travel that made traditional faster-than-light concepts look primitive and inefficient. The Vortex representative's crystalline structure actually trembled, a sign of extreme emotional response in their species. The Luminarian scientists began rapid energy exchanges, their swirling forms indicating intense computational analysis. Yun's voice came through the communication systems, calm and professional. Mission Control, Horizon 1 reporting successful quantum fold navigation. All systems operational, requesting return instructions. Mission Control responded with professional restraint, but those who knew them could detect an underlying excitement. Confirmed, Horizon 1. Prepare for landing sequence. As the ship began its return trajectory, the alien observers remained stunned. This was more than a technological demonstration. This was a fundamental reimagining of interstellar travel. Humanity had just shown that the seemingly impossible could be achieved through innovation, mathematical brilliance, and sheer determination. The scout ship touched down on the launch platform, steam rising from its heat-resistant exterior. Dr. Yun Choi emerged, her movements steady, her expression neutral. But those who knew her well could see a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. She had just changed everything humans understood about space exploration. The quantum fold drive was no longer a theoretical concept. It was a reality that would reshape humanity's future among the stars. The days following the demonstration were unlike anything the scientific community had ever experienced. Data from the Horizon 1 mission flooded research centers across multiple star systems. Alien scientists worked around the clock, running and rerunning computational analyses, searching desperately for any error in the human calculations. But there were no errors. The quantum fold drive's performance exceeded even the most optimistic human predictions. What made the technology truly revolutionary was its efficiency. Traditional faster-than-light travel methods consumed enormous energy resources. Some alien civilizations required entire planetary power systems to move a single large vessel across moderate interstellar distances. Humanity's drive changed everything. The first shock came from the energy consumption metrics. The Horizon 1 had traversed 12,000 light-years, using less energy than a medium-sized city would consume in a week. This wasn't just an improvement. It was a complete paradigm shift in understanding energy manipulation and quantum mechanics. Research centers across the galaxy began requesting detailed technical documentation. The human team, led by Dr. Jun Park, made an unprecedented decision. They would share their complete research, holding nothing back. This openness was unusual in a galaxy where technological secrets were typically guarded more carefully than military weapons. Alien technological experts found themselves in uncharted territory. The quantum entanglement principles used in the drive challenged fundamental assumptions about space-time manipulation. Dr. Hyun Kim's original research suggested methods of creating controlled quantum tunnels that seemed to bend the very laws of physics. The economic implications were staggering. Interstellar trade routes could be completely restructured. Exploration would accelerate exponentially. Regions of space previously considered unreachable would now be mere hours away from human vessels. Smaller alien civilizations saw hope. No longer would they be limited by massive energy requirements for space exploration. The human drive offered a technological democratization of space travel that threatened to upend existing galactic power structures. The Vortex civilization was the first to request a collaborative research partnership. Their lead scientists recognized that the human approach represented a fundamental breakthrough in quantum mechanics. What humans had achieved was nothing short of revolutionary. Diplomatic channels buzzed with activity. Space exploration agencies from multiple star systems began reaching out to human research teams. The typical bureaucratic barriers that would have taken years to navigate were suddenly swept aside by the sheer potential of the technology. Commander Sung Lee found himself at the center of a global, and now galactic, transformation. Press conferences became technical seminars. Diplomatic meetings turned into intense scientific discussions. Humanity had transformed overnight from a marginally interesting species to a potential technological leader. The most profound impact was psychological. For generations, alien civilizations had viewed faster-than-light travel as an almost mystical challenge, something that required immense technological sophistication. Humans had solved the problem with an approach that was elegant in its simplicity. Mathematical models were rewritten. Theoretical physics textbooks would need complete revision. The human quantum fold drive wasn't just a technological achievement. It was a fundamental reimagining of how intelligent species could interact with the universe. Back in the Nevada research facility, the team that had made this possible worked quietly. They understood they had done something extraordinary. But for them, this was just the beginning. Every breakthrough opened new questions, new possibilities. Dr. Yun Choi, the pilot who had first demonstrated the drive's capabilities, looked at the initial mission data with a sense of quiet satisfaction. They had proven that human imagination could indeed transform scientific theory into practical reality. The galaxy would never be the same again. 6 months after the initial demonstration, humanity found itself at the center of a galactic transformation. The quantum fold drive had become more than just a technological breakthrough. It was reshaping entire civilizations' understanding of space exploration. Research centers across multiple star systems began collaborative programs with human engineers. What had started as skepticism had transformed into genuine excitement. Young scientists from alien civilizations traveled to Earth, eager to learn the principles behind the revolutionary drive. Dr. Jun Park became an unexpected diplomatic icon. His technical presentations were no longer just scientific discussions, but events that attracted global and interstellar attention. Universities requested his lectures, governments sought his insights, and research institutions competed for his team's collaboration. The economic impact was immediate and profound. Trade routes that previously took decades could now be traversed in hours. Smaller planetary systems suddenly found themselves connected to broader galactic networks. Resources that were once considered unreachable became accessible. Human engineering teams began traveling to different star systems, teaching the foundational principles of quantum fold technology. They didn't just share technical specifications. They shared a fundamental approach to problem solving that emphasized creativity and bold thinking. The Vortex civilization was the first to successfully replicate key components of the drive. Their crystalline scientists worked alongside human researchers, breaking down complex quantum mechanics into manageable research streams. What had seemed impossible now felt like a natural progression of technological understanding. Diplomatic channels transformed. Meetings that once took months of preparation could now happen with representatives traveling vast distances in mere hours. Cultural exchanges accelerated. Knowledge transfer became instantaneous. Smaller alien civilizations saw unprecedented opportunities. No longer would technological limitations restrict their exploration and development. The human drive represented a form of technological democratization that challenged existing galactic power structures. Military strategists from various star systems began reassessing their defensive and exploratory capabilities. The quantum fold drive wasn't just a transportation technology. It was a potential game-changer in strategic thinking. Earth itself experienced a profound transformation. The research facility in Nevada became a global landmark, visited by scientists, diplomats, and curious citizens from around the world. Funding for scientific research exploded. Young students suddenly saw space exploration as an achievable dream. Commander Sun Lee, who had initially presented the technology to the Galactic Council, found himself navigating a complex new diplomatic landscape. Humanity had gone from being a marginally interesting species to a potential technological leader in less than a year. The psychological impact was perhaps the most significant. Civilizations that had viewed faster-than-light travel as an almost mystical challenge now saw it as a practical possibility. Boundaries of scientific understanding were being rewritten daily. Dr. Hyun Kim continued refining the theoretical framework, pushing the boundaries of quantum mechanics. Each breakthrough opened new questions, new possibilities. The drive was not an endpoint but a beginning, a first step into a broader understanding of spacetime manipulation. As the first year of the quantum fold drive's existence came to a close, humanity stood at a remarkable moment in its history. They had not just developed a new technology. They had fundamentally transformed how intelligent species could interact with the universe. The galaxy watched, waited, and prepared for a future that looked increasingly human. Space was no longer a distant, unreachable frontier. It was now a canvas of infinite possibilities, waiting to be explored.